Today's lesson is Plus Talk Studying Abroad the First Week. Hi, everybody. I'm Roger.
And I'm Helen.
And today we're talking about studying abroad in today's edition of Plus Talk. And this is the first week in which a couple of students are studying in the city of Boston, Massachusetts, studying abroad. So, Helen, you're from New York City, right? Have you ever studied abroad before?
Actually, I have never studied abroad, but it sounds like it's a really interesting experience based on what Nick and Lisa have gone through.
Indeed, and today they are going through their first week. They're getting acquainted with their location, and they're being introduced in their class. So, hey, let's get to it, everybody. This is Act 1, Getting Acquainted. Let's listen to the first part of our lesson right now.
Studying Abroad, the First Week. Act 1, Getting Acquainted. Nick and Lisa are foreign exchange students studying in the city of Boston, Massachusetts, in America. They are in their English class on the first day of school.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to introduce two new students that are here for the semester. Nick is from Taiwan and Lisa is from Germany.
Hello! 大家好，首先我们看到的单字是 acquainted， 这个字当作形容词，代表熟悉的或是认识的意思。我们常用 get or become acquainted with 加上名词来表示熟悉点点点的意思。所以我们可以说 This was the first time George and Mary met, so they didn't get acquainted with each other. 这是 George 和 Mary 的第一次见面，所以他们还不熟悉彼此。除此之外，我们可以在这个字的前面加上否定字首 un， 就会变成 unacquainted， 指不熟悉的或是不认识的意思。那就可以说 Tom is an immigrant, so he is unacquainted with Taiwanese culture. Tom 是移民，所以他不熟悉台湾文化。
Okay, so in Act 1, we're talking about getting acquainted. Acquainted, that means kind of getting to know each other, right?
Yes, if you're acquainted with someone, you might know them or know about them, but you're not really good friends with them yet.
Right. So, for example, Helen, you're kind of new to this job, so I'm acquainted with you. I know you a little bit, but I'm not really that close to you or don't know you all that well. So we do use the word acquainted when we talk about people getting to know each other at the beginning.
Yes, we may also use acquainted with things rather than people. So I might say, are you acquainted with the works of Shakespeare? Are you acquainted with Boston?
Very good. And also, we can refer to a person that you know as an acquaintance. Do you know John? Well, not really that well. We're acquaintances. We know each other, but we're not really that familiar with each other. So here they're getting acquainted. They're kind of trying to understand the environment and to meet their classmates and stuff like that. So here in the introductory sentence, it says, Nick and Lisa are foreign exchange students studying in the city of Boston, Massachusetts in America. Now, Helen, you did say you're from New York, so I assume you've been to Boston before.
I have been to Boston. I visited briefly. It's a beautiful city.
I was there once visiting a friend maybe about 10 years ago or so. And then I was there when I was a small child on a family trip. But I guess there are lots of universities in Boston, in the Boston area, like Boston College and Harvard, and perhaps some other schools as well. So it goes on here to say they're in their English class on the first day of school. So since they're foreign exchange students, of course, they need to become more acquainted with the English language or to learn it a little better. Now, the teacher begins the conversation.
The teacher says, Good morning, everyone. I'd like to introduce two new students that are here for the semester. Nick is from Taiwan and Lisa is from Germany.
Okay, so that's how the teacher begins the class here. Good morning, everyone. A greeting. And, of course, the teacher is going to introduce 2 new students that are there for the semester, which, of course, is a period of study. And Nick is from Taiwan. We all know where Taiwan is. And Lisa is from Germany. So, of course, they're coming from different countries and they're trying to learn things in America.
Yes, they're in America, in Boston, to learn English and perhaps to also get to know the culture and the customs in America. So the teacher wants the other students in class to get to know Nick and Lisa and asks them to talk a little bit about the cities where they came from.
Indeed. So, of course, the teacher wants to introduce these new students to the other classmates, and therefore Nick and Lisa say hello, and they're going to introduce themselves to the rest of the class. Okay, everybody, let's move on now to the second part of our lesson. We will now listen to it, and then we'll come back to discuss it.
Nick, tell us a little about Taiwan.
Sure. I live in Taipei, which is the capital of Taiwan. It's a big city famous for having lots of night markets with tasty street food. Unlike here in Boston, a lot of people in Taipei ride scooters because it's easier to get around than driving a car. And if you like the outdoors, then you'll love Taipei because there are mountains nearby with plenty of hiking trails.
Thanks, Nick. Now, Lisa, can you tell us a little bit about Germany?
Of course. I live in Munich. It's a German city best known for Oktoberfest, which is a popular festival that takes place every year. Munich is also very pretty, with a large university and some of the greatest art museums in Europe. Although it's a big city, it still gets quiet on Sundays.
第二部分我们看到的单字是名词 capital， 代表首都、首府的意思。例如 The capital of Taiwan used to be Tainan, but now it is Taipei. 台湾首都曾是台南，但现在是台北。另外，在这个字后面加上 ize 就会变成动词 capitalize， 是利用的意思。那就可以说 The cafe capitalized on its convenient location near the university. 那间咖啡馆利用了靠近大学的地利之便。下一个我们看到的单字是 trail， 这个名词是步道或是小径的意思。例如 We followed the trail to the edge of the forest. 我们循着小径来到了森林的边缘。除此之外，这个字也可以当动词，是竞赛比分落后的意思。因此就可以说 Steve trailed Mike by 2 points in the game. Steve 在比赛中以2分之差落后 Mike。
Okay, so remember the teacher wants to introduce the 2 new students to the class. We've got Nick and Lisa. They say hello, and then the teacher tells Nick to tell us, the students, the class, a little about Taiwan.
And Nick says, sure, he's very happy to do so. He tells the students that he lives in Taipei, which is the capital of Taiwan. Now, capital is the main city in a country or a state, or a county or a province. A capital is also a city that is the seat of the government for some area. So Taipei is the capital of Taiwan, and that's where Nick is from.
Right, so you could say Tokyo is the capital of Japan, and a lot of people think that Sydney or Melbourne is the capital of Australia, but those cities are not the capital of Australia. What is the capital of Australia anyway?
I think it's Canberra.
Canberra, right. I just couldn't think of it. It was on the tip of my tongue. But, of course, here in Taiwan, the capital is Taipei. And it's a big city famous for having lots of night markets with tasty street food. Yes, I agree with that. Taipei is a big city, and it is famous for these things. It is famous for these night markets, like the Raohejie night market, the Shirley night market, etc., etc. And if you go to those night markets, you can get lots of tasty food and tasty street food. That's not food that's actually cooked on the street, is it?
Not really. It's just the kind of food that you would find at a street market. Usually, they're food that you can eat as a snack.
Indeed, and also sometimes referred to as street stalls where you can buy these treats, maybe on busy streets or something like that, or in traditional markets as well. So, again, that's his introduction to Taipei, and he goes on to say, unlike here in Boston, a lot of people in Taipei ride scooters because it's easier to get around than driving a car. So this is not like Boston, of course, as you know, here in Taiwan, not just in Taipei, but in Kaohsiung, Jiayi, Taichung, Hualien, etc. Lots of people get around on scooters. I don't believe that's the case in Boston, and I don't think that's the case in New York, right?
Not at all, because you know why? It gets really cold in those cities, so it wouldn't be very comfortable for people to drive around or go around on scooters. It's much more convenient to drive around in cars or to take public transportation. So riding scooters is something that's common in Taipei or around Taiwan because the local weather permits doing so.
Unless it's raining really hard, then it's kind of dangerous. Do you ride a scooter in Taipei at all, Helen?
I don't ride a scooter.
How do you get around?
I take public transportation.
Like the bus or the MRT or something like that?
I usually take the MRT because I find it to be very convenient.
Yeah, it's not really convenient for me because it doesn't really go to where I work and stuff like that. But I do get around on a bicycle as opposed to a scooter. But again, here Nick is introducing Taipei to his classmates in Boston there. He says that Taipei has a lot of scooters because it's easier to get around that way. And he goes on to say, if you like the outdoors or if you like being outside, then you'll love Taipei because there are mountains nearby with plenty of hiking trails. Now, trail is a place you go to hike, right?
Right. It's a path or a route that you can use to walk through a mountain or a park.
And, of course, in Boston there, they have the Freedom Trail, which goes to all the famous tourist sites in Boston. We'll get to that later on as they decide to go out for a tour of the city. But indeed, in Taipei, we've got lots of mountains here. In fact, we've got Yangmingshan National Park, which does have lots of hiking trails. Places to go walk in the forest. And the teacher says, thanks, Nick. Thanks for your introduction. And then he turns things over to Lisa. Now, Lisa, can you tell us a little bit about Germany?
And Lisa says, of course, I live in Munich. It's a German city best known for Oktoberfest, which is a popular festival that takes place every year. So we know that Munich is famous for a festival that's called Oktoberfest. And she says that Munich is very pretty with a large university and some great art museums.
Indeed, that's her introduction to Munich, which, again, is not the capital of Germany. But, hey, Munich has lots of tourist attractions there, and one of them is Oktoberfest, which is a popular festival that I imagine takes place in October. Are you much of a beer drinker, Helen?
I certainly am. I love beer.
Okay, well, we're not supposed to promote the consumption of alcohol or drugs on this program, but, you know, sometimes people do enjoy beer. It is a tasty beverage. I don't really drink beer myself, but in any case, if you go to Oktoberfest, I'm sure there will be lots of beer on tap. Okay, so what else does Lisa say about Munich?
Well, apart from having some really great art museums, she also says that Munich is a big city. However, it still gets really quiet on Sundays. So you have all of the excitement of a big city, but also it's not exciting and loud all the time. On weekends, on Sundays, it can get quiet so that you can rest and relax.
So yes, indeed, all the excitement occurs on every day except Sunday. Okay, let's move on now to the third part of our lesson. We'll listen to it first.
Is it true that most shops close on Sundays? Yes, so you must do your grocery shopping before then, or you're out of luck.
Wow, you'd love Taipei. Shops there are open every day of the week, and they stay open late too.
Well, I'm sure you'll both find many more differences while you're here in America. I suggest you keep an open mind and try to adjust to American culture as best you can.
第三部分我们看到的单字是名词 grocery。 代表食品杂货的意思。例如 We will need to buy some groceries if you want me to cook dinner tonight. 如果你要我今晚煮晚餐，我们就必须买些食品杂货。顺便来补充一下，我们常听到的 grocery store 就是指杂货店，像是 There's a grocery store newly opened besides the bus stop. It will be very convenient to us. 公车站旁开了一间新的杂货店，这对我们来说将会非常方便。今天最后一个单字，我们看到的是 adjust， 这个动词有适应或是调整的意思。例如 I had to adjust the car seat so that I had more room for my legs. 我需要调整一下座椅，这样我的脚才有空间可以放。另外，我们用 adjust to 加上名词或是动名词来表示适应点点点的意思，像是 People who move to foreign countries may find it hard to adjust to the differences. 搬到国外的人可能会觉得很难适应不同文化。
Welcome back. Now, let's see what happens in this part of the dialogue. We have another student, her name is Sally, who asks a question of Lisa. She wants to know, is it true that most shops close on Sundays in Munich?
You could also say, is it true that most shops are closed on Sundays?
Lisa replies, yes. So people must do their grocery shopping before Sunday because otherwise you're out of luck. This means that you should do your grocery shopping before a Sunday. Otherwise, you're out of luck. You can't do your grocery shopping anymore. Now, grocery shopping means when you should go and shop for your groceries. Groceries are food items you buy in order to stock up your homes. Personally, I do my grocery shopping on Sunday also so that I have enough groceries for the rest of the week. And by Friday, my groceries are all gone. I have no more food in my refrigerator, so I have to go grocery shopping again.
Yeah, sometimes you might happen to run across a holiday. That's happened to us before, where we want to go to the market on Sunday to buy some groceries, but unfortunately they're closed because of a holiday. So I could say, oh, I'm out of luck. Now, in this sentence here, we've got the word grocery. When I was a kid, I heard my mother often pronounce this word as grocery with a sh sound in there, but the dictionary says it's grocery, so maybe my mother was saying it wrong all along. I don't know. She's from Milwaukee. Maybe that's the way they talk there. But in any case here, you got to do your grocery shopping before Sunday because the shops are all closed on Sundays. And groceries, that usually refers to food items, right?
Yes, usually it refers to just food items. You can also say you're going shopping at a grocery because grocery can also mean the store where you go and buy food, similar to a supermarket.
Indeed, and oftentimes my wife refers to what are called 杂货店 here in Taiwan as a grocery store, but that is incorrect to me because the store I just mentioned there will sell more things than just food. If they sell more things than food, I would call those a general store, but if they're selling just food or mostly food items, then that is a grocery store. But if they sell more than that and it's really big, then it becomes a supermarket or even a hypermarket like RT Mart or Carrefour. Those are hypermarts. Okay, now let's move on now to the next sentence. Here's what Nick says. Wow, you'd love Taipei. Shops there are open every day of the week and they stay open late too. So, of course, he's saying that Lisa would love Taipei because, my goodness, the stores never seem to close there unless it's after 10 p.m. or something like that. People do have to sleep sometimes, but I hear that's a common complaint of Taiwanese tourists, especially when they go to Europe. My goodness, the stores are all closed on Sunday, or they close so early. How do they expect us to buy anything? Because here in Taiwan, of course, the stores stay open much later.
Yes, and evidently there are many differences between Taipei and Munich and also between Taipei and Boston. So this is what Sally and Nick are realizing right now through their talk. And the teacher says, well, I'm sure you'll both find many more differences while you're here in America. So after spending some time in America, we'll probably find that there are many more differences between America, Boston specifically, and Munich and Taipei. The teacher goes on to say, I suggest you keep an open mind and try to adjust to American culture as best you can. Now, if you adjust, you change. You change yourself so that you are better suited to your circumstances or so that it is easier for you to succeed. So when you adjust to a situation, you make it easier for yourself to deal with that situation.
You can adjust yourself to the culture of another country that you're in, or you could adjust some kind of electronic device. Like if you buy a new computer monitor for your computer, you might have to adjust it at first. You might need to adjust the brightness, you might need to adjust the color balance, the aspect ratio, all of those things might need to be adjusted. You could also say fine-tuned, but here you need to get used to American culture. You need to adjust to American culture as best you can. And even as an American myself, after having spent a lot of time here in Taiwan, I have to adjust to American culture myself because every time I go back to the U.S., it seems like a foreign country to me in a lot of ways. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。对话里面的 Nick 跟 Lisa 是交换学生，老师就先请 Nick 来介绍他的家乡台湾。 Nick 就说 I live in Taipei, which is the capital of Taiwan. 我住在台北，那是台湾的首都。好，那么句子里面的 which 是关系代名词，用来引导关系子句去修饰它的先行词 Taipei。 由于台北是明确特定的事物，我们不需要限定它的范围，所以这边是用非限定用法的关系子句来对台北做补充说明。那 which 的前面要加逗号。好，其实我们还可以省略 which is， 把 the capital of Taiwan 来当作同位语，句子就变成 I live in Taipei, the capital of Taiwan。 那为什么怎么会从刚刚讲的关系子句变成同位语呢？好，我们的同位语通常是摆在名词或名词片语的后方做补充说明。同位语在句子里面呢，要用逗号跟句子隔开。至于非限定用法的关系子句摆在句中的时候，它的前后也要用逗号隔开。那这个关系子句当它的句型结构是关系代名词加 be 动词加名词的时候，我们可以省略关系代名词跟 be 动词，只留下名词，那这时候就会形成同位语的句型结构，用来补充说明它前方的名词，也就是先行词。好像有点复杂，我们来看个例句。 Mr. Lin, who is the manager of the restaurant, is a friend of my father's. 这间餐厅的经理林先生是我父亲的一个朋友。好，那我们例句里面的 who is the manager of the restaurant 是非限定用法的关系子句，用来补充说明林先生是这间餐厅的经理。那我们把关系子句里面的 who is 省略之后，句子就变成 Mr. Lin, the manager of the restaurant, is a friend of my father's. 那这时候 the manager of the restaurant 就是同位语咯，它就会用来对前方的名词 Mr. Lin 做补充说明。接着读到对话的最后一句，我建议你们可以保持开放的心态，尽量试着去适应美国文化。那这边帮同学们补充 adjust 这个单字的字首字根，just J-U-S-T 或者是 J-U-D 或者是 J-U-R 这些字根它都带有正确的或是判断的意思。那很多跟法律相关的字都带有这一类的字根，像 judge 是法官或者是判决评断的意思，还有 justice 它表示公平正义或是司法。那我们来看 adjust 这个字，adjust 它表示适应啊调整。好，那它的字首 ad 有朝向的意思，那么 just 表示正确的，同学们就可以联想，当我们在调整某事物或者是要适应环境的时候，你就是要把这个东西或者是自己的状态调整成正确的适当的，那这样应该就可以联想到适应调整的语义了。好，另外课文句子里面的动词 suggest 它表示建议、提议。常见的用法是在后面加上 that 加上主词加 should 再加原形动词来表达建议某人做某事。那 that 子句里面的 should 常常省略不用，只保留后方的原形动词。举例来说， He suggested that we should leave early， 或者是 He suggested that we leave early， 也就是说他建议我们早点离开。以上是今天的重点整理，接着我们来回顾今天的单字吧。
Acquainted. Are you two acquainted with each other? Capital. Sarah knows what the capital of each African country is. Trail. We hiked on the trail for several hours until we finally reached the top of the mountain. Grocery. Brian's favorite grocery store has opened near his apartment. Adjust. It took a few days for Ivy to adjust to living in the countryside.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.